Melania Trump, the current wife of Donald Trump, naturally became the former First Lady of the United States. Melania created a unique role in American history as the First Lady, hailing from a socialist country. At the time of her birth in 1970, Slovenia was still under socialist rule as part of Yugoslavia. It was a small country in central southern Europe, nestled near the Alps. Melania's family was not particularly wealthy. Her father, Victor, was a member of the Communist Party and had previously run a bicycle and auto parts store in Ljubljana, just enough to make ends meet. Later, he became the mayor of a nearby city and the manager of a state-owned textile factory. Her mother, Amelija, initially worked on their farm harvesting red onions and later worked at a textile factory in town, where she designed patterns for children's clothing. After work, she would even find time to sew clothes for her two daughters, ensuring they were impeccably dressed, a trait Melania inherited from her mother. Melania's sense of fashion was shaped from a young age. Melania was exceptionally beautiful from a young age and started working at the age of 5, almost like a child star. As she grew older, not only did she become more beautiful, but her physique also improved. According to the memories of the elderly neighbors in her small town, Melania was somewhat shy during her teenage years but had an extraordinary talent for fashion. At the age of 16, she was discovered by a photographer named Stane Jurko, who sent her photos to a cultural center in Slovenia. In the autumn of that year, the cultural center decided to admit her to modeling training, and that's how Melania began her career as a model. She later worked in cities like Milan and Paris. To better adapt to big cities, Melania learned English, German, French, and Italian. Besides, she was proficient in Slovenian and Serbo-Croatian. At 18, she enrolled in the University of Ljubljana, studying architecture. After graduating, she pursued a career in modeling, and her modeling career provided her with a wealth of experiences. After graduating from university, Melania decided to venture out on her own. She arrived in New York City, USA, in search of various job opportunities. Initially, she had to attend numerous auditions for fashion shows every day but was often rejected. The competition in the big city was much fiercer than she had imagined. It is said that, in her pursuit of becoming an excellent model, Melania practiced her catwalk every day with weights tied to her waist and survived on just 7 pieces of fruit a day. Since she had no agency representation at the time, Melania had to freelance and sometimes only got 1 or 2 jobs a month, making it difficult to make ends meet. She was seen wandering the streets of Manhattan countless times, looking at posters of supermodels, feeling heartache. Melania even considered returning to her home country, but her strong-willed nature led her to stay and continue striving. Her friends have also stated in interviews that Melania is a highly career-oriented woman. She was never the typical Slovenian girl. Her dream was to stay abroad and live an upper-class life. In 1998, while participating in New York Fashion Week, Melania met Donald Trump, who was a real estate mogul at the time. Melania was 28 years old, and Trump was 52. Their meeting was entirely coincidental. It is said that Trump was smitten by her at first sight and asked for her phone number that evening. Surprisingly, Melania's response was a firm no, because Trump was dating someone else at the time. Smart and cautious, Melania wanted to create an unexpected situation for Trump. In a recent interview, she talked about their first encounter, saying, "I said, I am not giving you my number, you give me yours, and I will call you." I wanted to see what his intention was. If he was interested in me, he would give me his number. In reality, Trump gave her all his numbers. Melania took the initiative to call Trump after returning from a photo shoot in the Caribbean, and they started dating smoothly. From then on, Melania's life underwent a fundamental transformation. She was no longer the unknown freelancer living in a small Manhattan apartment. Donald Trump helped her move into a luxurious house and provided her with chauffeur-driven cars. She no longer needed to audition constantly for runway shows. Melania used this relationship to reach the pinnacle of her life. On her first birthday after dating Trump, he gifted her a gold watch studded with diamonds. Soon after, he put a $1 million engagement ring with a 15-carat diamond on her finger. From that moment, whenever Melania appeared in public, she always wore the latest products from world-famous fashion designers. She often shared images of her expensive fashion items on her private Twitter account and traveled to luxurious destinations worldwide on private planes. 2 years later, in 2005, the 35-year-old Melania married the 59-year-old Trump, who was 24 years her senior. Trump gave Melania an ultra-luxurious wedding, held at a resort hotel in Palm Beach. Her wedding dress reportedly took 1,000 hours to make, including 550 hours to sew 1,500 crystal rhinestones and pearls. The wedding guests included prominent figures of the time, even the Clintons attended. In an interview in 2005, Melania said about marrying Trump, "When you marry a man, you need to know who you are. You need to be very strong and smart." In 2006, their only son, Baron William Trump, was born. Melania played an invaluable role in Donald Trump's political journey, although she wasn't very vocal in public support for her husband. Her efforts behind the scenes were crucial. Melania's social media presence began to change when Trump ran for president. As a former model, she suddenly became less interested in the limelight. Her posts on social media shifted from showcasing wealth to diplomatic meetings with various political figures. She also made appearances during the primaries, providing significant support to Trump. On November 8, 2016, Trump defeated the Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and was elected as the 45th President of the United States. Becoming the First Lady was no easy task. In July 2017, Melania's speech at the National Convention was criticized for allegedly plagiarizing Michelle Obama's 2008 speech. This incident made her the subject of ridicule. After Trump took office, Melania chose not to immediately move into the White House. Instead, she focused on her son Baron's education. In her view, this was a way to support Trump. She explained, "I have a lot on my plate, and I'm very busy. I don't have a nanny, I have a chef and an assistant, but that's it. I do everything myself. The most important thing is to spend time with your child." After becoming the First Lady, she decided to stay in New York with her son. The couple lived separately, and Melania became the first First Lady in history not to move into the White House. However, this former model was far from being a mere decoration. Melania's low-key approach so far has been shrewd. Particularly, her reluctance to engage in politics was wise. Melania made significant accomplishments in her familiar fields. She started her own jewelry brand on QVC, serving as the artistic director and designer. She is confident, beautiful, elegant, and sensual. Melania is a woman who used her intelligence to rise from a small town. In 2001, she made her big-screen debut in the film Zoolander, which was headlined by Ben Stiller. She also hosted a talk show Viewpoint in 2005. Trump always praised his wife in the media, saying, "I can tell you she's a very beautiful First Lady." Yes, she's the First Lady. She's a very, very beautiful First Lady, I think. Melania had taken many photos, including covers and features in important magazines. Going against the norm, she may have been one of the most eye-catching aspects of the former U.S. President and First Lady. In contrast to Melania's disinterest in politics, Trump's eldest daughter, Ivanka, appeared to be more politically involved. Some speculated that Ivanka might replace Melania's role. During a visit to Japan, Ivanka participated in meetings between Trump and Shinzo Abe. Furthermore, she stepped down from her position as vice president of Trump's company, which might indicate her inclination towards politics. At the G20 summit, Ivanka displayed confidence and demeanor that seemed to announce her desire to become a political newcomer. Trump established an office for Ivanka in the White House, and her husband frequently appeared at major events with Trump. The trio's presence was the only thing missing was First Lady Melania. According to media reports, the White House power struggle had already begun, with the central figures being Ivanka Trump and first daughter Melania. These two women share some similarities in terms of personality, both are assertive. Additionally, they have a relatively small age difference, with Melania being only 10 years older than Ivanka. Melania had disrupted Ivanka's mother's marriage in the past. Both women have their roles in the White House. Ivanka enjoys political activism and even closed her own brand and businesses to demonstrate her commitment. Melania, on the other hand, is hardly involved in any political activities and does not seek influence or power. She simply wants to live a quiet life as a lady of privilege. Indeed, Melania is not a genius or a PR expert. She has made her way, step by step, from humble beginnings to becoming a small-town king in American high society.
If you enjoyed today's content, please click the subscribe button so